U.S. inflation declined to 2.9% last month, crossing an important threshold after rising to 40-year highs. Grocery prices, however, remain stubbornly static. The Washington Post writes, quote, "Grocery prices are some of the most tangible reminders of higher than normal inflation, and the sticker shock often weighs on people's impressions of the economy. Generally, food prices have been trending down, but are still higher than before the pandemic." End quote. The latest numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show that food prices overall were up 2.2% in July compared to the previous year. Groceries rose a modest 1.1% during the same period, falling from a 13.5% peak in August 2022. In Europe, food inflation peaked at 17.9% in November 2022 and exceeded overall inflation in 9 out of 10 of the continent's 44 countries. Consumer responses generally can be summed up in the UK headline, "People buy spectacularly less," a combination of trading down and doing without. Tea prices in the UK are some of the highest in Europe. In July, the government reported the RPI was 262 pence. That's about $3.37 USD for a 250-gram box of tea bags. 2 years ago, the price was 180 pence, about $2.31 USD. The grocery channel of commodity tea bags, store-branded teas, and bottled teas, which contain very little tea, accounts for 80% of U.S. tea sales, estimated to total $13 billion in 2023. Specialty teas account for $3.5 billion of those sales. Premium offerings continue to grow in functional and condition-specific categories, especially in e-commerce. But on grocery shelves, the premium category increasingly consists of blends with herbals and florals, and in the cold case, refrigerated teas, juice, and exotic fruit infusions with brewed Camellia sinensis. Prices remain high, which explains why Walmart's income increased by 8.5%, with digital sales increasing by 22% in the past year. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon told analysts, quote, "We aren't experiencing a weaker consumer overall. Consumers from all income levels are looking for value, and we have it." End quote. Groceries account for more than half of Walmart's sales. William Hogg, associate professor in the Department of Economics at the University of South Carolina, told Time magazine, quote, "If inflation goes down, it means that the rate at which prices increase is slowing down, but it's generally not going to mean that prices are going down." End quote. According to the U.S. Consumer Price Index, grocery store prices remain 25% higher than they were pre-pandemic. Quote, "Of course, we'd like prices to be lower, but the problem is that one person's spending is another person's income," end quote, says Professor Hauk, with a word of warning on avoiding deflation. When prices decrease throughout the economy, it probably means people, on average, are making less money, he explained. Ousted Starbucks CEO Laxman Narasimhan was fond of tea, supporting a full line of chai and matcha lattes, rooibos, as well as black and green teas, and introducing, finally, Pearls in May. The company is one of the world's largest retailers in tea, selling around 1 billion cups a year. Laxman will depart the company with $10.6 million in severance after 17 months at the helm. His replacement, Brian Niccol, CEO at Chipotle, was named CEO effective September 9th. Niccol will receive $1.6 million salary and up to $113 million in bonuses if he successfully meets financial targets. During Narasimhan's tenure, shares declined almost 25%, leading to a $32 billion decline in value, while Chipotle's annual sales surged. Chipotle stock has tripled in value since 2018. In 2023, Narasimhan cited tea as an important contributor to same-store sales growth, which rose 11.6% compared to 2022. Starbucks reported a 6% decline in U.S. comparable quarterly transactions in July. The beverage menu at Chipotle is sparse. The Mexican-American themed restaurant features 13 flavors of poppy prebiotic juice and soda, open water, certified organic watermelon limeade, all-natural non-GMO aqua frescas in mandarin and berry, with fill-ups from in-store dispensers, as well as sweet black tea and flavored lemonade from farmer-created Tractor Beverage Company. Near Simmons' favorite drink is an espresso macchiato with hot skim milk on the side. During his tenure, matcha lattes, seasonal iced teas, berry lemonade, and summer skies refreshers with popping pearls were highlighted. Starbucks does not break out earnings from tea, but financial reports provide important clues. If tea accounts for between 10 and 15% of beverage sales, say 12% on average, then it generates about $4.5 billion annually. Starbucks reported $36.5 billion in sales for the 12 months ending March 31st, 2024, up 7.5% over the previous year. Tea sales during that period likely ranged from $3.65 to $5.5 billion. Teavana boxed and bottled teas generate more than $1.5 billion. The rest is mainly sold cold over the counter, with the highest earnings in Asian stores and those located in warmer climates. Business Standard writes that 74 of the 191 CEOs who have left their roles this year were considered to have been forced out, the highest number recorded since Exchange.com began tracking departures in 2017. Brown's Plantations will control 10.7% of Kenya's tea market, according to regulators that approved the acquisition of Lipton Tea and Infusion's Kenya properties. The Competition Authority of Kenya determined that Lipton's holdings in Kericho and Limururu amounted to 6% of the tea market. According to the Competition Authority, the Kenya Tea Development Authority, KTDA, controls 48.8% of the combined export and domestic market, followed by Brown's, Eastern Produce Kenya with a 5.6% share, and Williamson Tea with a 4.3% share. Kenya's Agriculture and Foods Authority estimates the total market value at 185 billion Kenyan shillings, about $1.4 billion US dollars, of which $1.3 billion US dollars is derived from imports. Domestic tea sales are 22 billion shillings, about 169 million USD. Kenya produced 450 million kilos of tea in 2023. The authority found, quote, the transaction qualifies as a merger within the meaning of Sections 2 and 41 of the Competition Act. Premised on the above, the authority unconditionally approved the proposed acquisition of 98.5% of the issued share capital of Lipton Teas and Infusions Kenya plc. The publication Kenyan Wall Street reports, quote, the authority has also assessed that the merger will not lead to any employment losses, assuring all 9,715 employees at Lipton Teas and 405 employees of Limururu Tea will be retained even after the acquisition, end quote. In May, Lipton, the world's largest tea company by value, announced the sale of all its tea estates to focus on brand management and improving value addition. The deal with Brown's International included all its Rwandan tea properties, Tanzania, and the company's 52% share of Limururu Tea, with 15% of the operating company shares going to community trusts that benefit Kericho and Bomei tea workers. Parties to the sale announced an initial investment of 1 billion shillings in a community endowment trust fund to finance community projects. Kamantha Amarasika, Chief Executive Director of Brown's Investments, in announcing the sale, said, quote, we look forward to working hand in hand with Lipton Teas and Infusions and local partners to foster a sustainable, responsible, and prosperous future for all. This partnership marks a significant step towards elevating the industry while ensuring a positive impact on the livelihood of communities we serve." End quote. Kenya's High Court appointed a 3-judge panel in July to hear an appeal by local communities challenging the estate sale. The communities cited pre-existing property rights and said they were not informed of the proposed transaction. No ruling has been announced.
Produced by Audavita Studios. Connect your voice to the world.